How's it going, everybody? It's your host, the Sports Moose, back with you here. Post-game show, game number 4, round 1 of the 2021 Stanley Cup playoffs. Of course, I'm your host, Sports Moose of the Thunderdome Puckcast. Of course, hopefully you guys are joining us once again. Broadcasted during the third period. Not too much in terms of goals, just Kucherov, third of the playoffs for a 6-2 victory, third period, but lots of after whistle antics, 2 scares. I think Kucherov, of course, could confirm, thanks to the comments that I forgot to look at during our broadcast. Let's put the box up there. Shout out Kevin, thanks so much for always watching. Kevin pointing out, of course, slash to the back of the leg. Confirmed, which crippled Kucherov. No padding back there. You're not gonna feel good after getting a chop there. Had to leave the game, didn't return, and then of course Sergachev, just kind of a weird, unlucky location of a, I'd say, fine hit from Hornquist. As much as we love to hate on him, just a bad distance from the boards. Went shoulder first, kind of his head to clip the boards. Probably a couple feet away from the boards, with the impact just kind of drove him as he's falling into the bottom half of the boards. So, 2 Lightning, what looked like to be injured, hopefully going to be okay for game number 5. Sergachev, I think, had a strong game in terms of clearing out the front. Even defensively, he was good, but more so really getting nasty and grimy, clearing out the front with authority. Panthers definitely trying to make Bassey's life difficult and uncomfortable to get him off his game. But nevertheless, only giving up 2 goals. Both of them were kind of tough ones. One of them for sure on the power play, and we'll look at those statistics. Been a horrendous penalty kill series for both Lightning and the Panthers. Lightning, I think, getting on the power play board at least twice today. Or I think they were over 50% on the power play the series, and so far in the playoffs, of course. So game 4 started off high flying. Lightning with a quick goal. I think they were up 2-0 at one point. We got the scoring summary right here. Look at that. Shouldn't try to recite this from memory like I'm practicing for a test, right? Lightning starting off early, 3 minutes in. Sorelli, some quick action from Chernak and Killorn. Of course, the beginning of Killorn's 4-point night. I think he got 2 goals, 2 assists. Huge game from Killorn. Yanni Gourde getting in on the action as well. Kuch with another assist there, setting that one up. Of course, Cats get on the power play and score a goal. Remember if that was the kind of power play goal, or that was a Verhaeghe. Just kind of a bad call. It might have been yep, that's what it was. So that was a Kucherov shoved into Bobrovsky. Okay, literally shoved into Bobrovsky. Penalty called. Panthers go on the power play, and lo and behold, it's 2-1 magically before the game gets out of hand. The Yanni Gourde goal was spectacular. That was the deflection off. I think it was either Sergei's shot or Kucherov's shot. Again, if you remember the first goal in the Blackhawks Stanley Cup series like 5 or 6 years ago was very similar, where the shot was like going to be off target by like 8. And the deflection put it right on target. At 2-1 with a Huberdeau's goal, of course. He was really pesky early on, getting people's faces, kind of firing up the Panthers. And again, we'll look at some of our stats. Panthers really controlled this game. This was very similar to game number 3. They owned the puck for most of the game. Statistics just show that they had the majority of puck possession and honestly pressure. When you're looking at shots on goal and and scoring chances, it's going to be overwhelmingly in the favor of Florida, which essentially says A, we were clogging up shooting lines or shooting lanes and, and blocking shots, which we did. B, Vassy had a great night. And look at where some of those shots really originated from. Feeling there was a lot of pressure close. A lot of those shots, really, again, we were pretty good at clogging up shooting lanes, passing today, but still, there were some opportunities for Florida, and had it not been for Vassy, this game actually might be closer than what we thought. A lot getting on the board. Lauren, 2 goals back to back, getting close to a hat trick in the third. And then for Hagee, once again on the power play, it just seems that's the only way Florida can score in this series is on the power play, and the officiating left much to be desired today. Absolute crap show of an NHL officiating performance. Third period was a great example of that. Rewatch that stream if you want some commentary of what was going on with me doing a live game watch of period 3. Absolute crap show. Lost control of the game. Close to injury for a couple Bolts players because Florida was basically going out there unchecked. And my favorite part is they don't want to drop the gloves. That's the worst part. They're happy to take a couple cheap shots and talk a lot of crap, but no one wanted to drop the gloves. At a point, Colton was getting ready to drop gloves, and they didn't engage in fisticuffs, if you will. And of course, Kucherov on the stream, lone goal of the third period, Lightning power play goal there. The Bolts 2 power play goals, and it looks like Panthers with 2 power play goals of their own. Get some good team stats here. We have 7 power play opportunities for the game. It just seemed like they were getting opportunities here left and right, and probably more total penalties. Yeah, 13 aside for each team. Felt like most of the second period was 4-on-4 at minimum. And then penalties sprinkled here and there. We had the rare 4-on-3 power play for a little bit, a couple 5-on-3s. It was absolutely insane. Lightning with 12 block shots to the Panthers 6. So again, evidence there of Bolts getting into some shooting lanes. But a lot of scoring opportunities for the Panthers. Hooch, 4-point night. It's a quiet 4-point night, and that's without playing half of the third period. 1 goal, 3 assists for Cooch. I actually didn't know that. And then Killorn, third star of the game with 2 goals, 2 assists. Assy, 39 saves on the night on 41 shots. Going to win you most games in the playoffs, especially when the Panthers can't figure out what is going on in their crease, right? I think one of the big issues with the Panthers is the indecisiveness by Coach Q in goal. And a lot of people praise this, which I don't really understand. It's like, oh, Coach Q can make that decision because someone of his stature knows and he's able to play musical goalies, especially when after a close 5-4 loss to the Lightning in game 1, it was Chris Drager that came out in game 2. Start game 3. I think he started game 3 as well. And had Bobrovsky jumped in. That's when, of course, the Panthers took the back, tied the game up in the third with they stormed 2 goals. Lightning hurtling basically and losing the game in overtime. So, goaltending hasn't been confident, at least how it's been down the stretch. I think Coach Q fell a victim, especially in this game. It looked like Bobrovsky wasn't ready to go. Maybe the Lightning had a couple perfect shots. Of course, breakaway to 3 minutes into the game wasn't exactly the best way to start a game. Would have been a great save if he made it. Probably could have. Maybe things go differently if he doesn't give up that first goal. But again, Florida's defense was a little bit of a dumpster fire at points throughout the game. Definitely in most of the first period when they built up a lead on full of shots going in the first intermission 3-1. While the Panthers had about 15, 16 shots a period. really nothing to show for it other than a power play goal on a questionable call. So let's look at the details more closely before we hop on over and get ready to wait for game number 5. Of course, thanks to our friends, Natural Stat Trick. Love the work they do, especially the shot chart. Quite sure what that sounded like. Steve Harvey, one of my tabs. And so again, we're gonna show all situations, not necessarily even strength. Do some comparison, but entirety of the game, 60 minutes. Of course, he's the way possession measured. And again, Panthers 65-35. I mean, the Lightning didn't, other than a handful of opportunities that I remember, at least, there wasn't extended periods of time in the offensive zone with possession. Didn't really seem like they were controlling the game. They were scoring goals. A part of that is some poor defensive and tough goaltending, but weren't really in control of this game like they were in parts of game 1. Certainly period 2 of game 3. And you see, even in faceoffs, really put us behind the 8 ball. 65-35 on faceoffs, percentage wise. And this is really, shots we talked about, 41-26, game 3. Heck, even game 2, I think, was fairly similar. Panthers really out shooting the Lightning in most games. This is really what surprised me, was the scoring chances for and against. Only 21 scoring chances for the Lightning. The Panthers 53. So again, we talked about 12 blocked shots. So that kind of gets to 53 total. If you're, shots on top of blocked shots, maybe is what they were looking at. That says to me is there was a lot of high danger opportunities for the Panthers. We kind of see here, it's 19 high danger opportunities for the Panthers. Lightning. This is against Lightning. You're looking at Panther stat line. So again, any high danger opportunity, 70-30 was the split basically. And expected goals with the way the Lightning played is again in all opportunities, inclusive of power plays, penalty kills. We're looking at expected goals of 1.9 for the Lightning. When you put those stats in terms of possession and scoring chances, the Panthers expected goals of 4.3. So again, just shows you the Vasi factor and the defensive factor too. I think the Lightning played a pretty decently solid defensive game. Gave a lot of hate on David Savard early on in the series. I think he had a pretty solid game. I know shielded off Barkov from a scoring opportunity, second or third period. Pretty impressed with him. Stick lifting, getting in the way. In game flow, we like seeing this. In all situations here, Panthers really carried the bulk of the action. Even if we go just even strength, just slightly shifted here to Panthers. 5-on-5, which a lot of that didn't happen. As you'll see, most of the second and third period, a lot of the momentum really in the Panthers' favor. Again, in terms of game domination, not necessarily the best game for the Bolts. Again, not about the final score, right? And it's 6-2. We'll take that. All right. Only 3 goals scored on even at 5-on-5. Those were by the Bolts. Again, looking at all opportunities, Lightning 2 goal or Panther 2 goals on the power play, and like we suspected, especially with block shots and whatnot, lots of volume here right in front of the goal. Lots of rebound attempts. Down on all fours at some points. And rolled out here. Definitely that. Not too much activity here for the Bolts. Again, they were outshot almost 2-1. But a lot of their goals coming that nasty, greasy area in front or on deflections. and a lot of the shot volume as well. Pretty close in today. I felt like the Panthers, when they were playing good defense, did a decent job at keeping the Lightning periphery. But again, some action on rebounds and deflections and whatnot down in the trenches. Like they had 3 goals basically on top of each other right here in front of them. Again, not necessarily the strongest game, but score speaks for itself. Bolts up 3-1 now. Game number 5 coming up Monday at sunrise. Bolts have a chance to close it out. Get some rest too, right? Especially with some of those injury concerns we just had with Pooch, Sergachev. Hopefully be able to bounce back in the rotation. Bolts, of course, have been playing 11-7. I think the Panthers have been trying to emulate that as well. And I'm not super familiar with their roster. I am with the Lightning. It was good to see Luke Shen get some action. Been a shame to see Matthew Joseph be the one drawing out. But I think unheralded hero, unheralded kind of player you don't think about. Love what we're seeing with Russ Colton. Had a sweet move, almost capitalizing today. Almost had a shot similar to what we saw games ago. Top shelf. Love what you see from him, especially in the absence of Barclay Goodrow. Haven't seen too much news on Goodrow, so if you know about Goodrow, let me know. Yeah, Vassy looked awesome. Get to the chat. Any word on Cooch? No official word. If you know Coop's going to say lower body injury, and he doesn't know anything. So we'll find out at probably won't even give it away at morning skate. I'd say we'll find out game time when he's out there for his first shift or on the bench. Yeah, I think Vassy very rarely has 2 bad games. If you were betting today, I would put some money on. Today, we'll see what happens in Florida. Backs against the wall. Tell the Panthers pull the goalie, kind of the rare pulling the goalie down 4, trying to take advantage of the power play that had midway through the 3rd period. So didn't give up a goal, so good on them. Didn't get one either. We'll be back here Monday night. I think Bolts play 8 Eastern on CNBC. See if the Bolts can wrap it up, get some rest here for that. Probably should have another episode of Thunderdome Puckcast coming out. Like it'll be pre-recorded, so we'll release it on our Facebook and YouTube. So we'll talk NHL playoffs, high level, look at the other series, and kind of get into the nitty-gritty on Lightning stats so far and what we can expect moving forward. And see, may not do it tomorrow. Maybe we'll wait for the Lightning to close it out before we do it. We'll preview Carolina because more than likely we're going to be playing the Hurricanes. I think that's going to be a little bit different series. They definitely have firepower and experience, and they're getting a great goaltender with Nedeljkovic. So I think Carolina could pose a problem. We played them well in the regular season. That's going to be the series to watch, I think, next round. Lightning, Hurricanes coming out of the Central Division. Try to jump into the Final Four. That's been it for us here at Thunderdome Puckcast. Thanks so much for jumping in. Post-game show after game number 5. And if I'm able to, might do a 3rd period game watch as well, just depending when we get home. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time. Make sure you're following us on Twitter at Sportsmoose Show if you do Twitter. And, of course, Facebook, Twitch, Instagram. We need to do a little bit better job posting Instagram. And YouTube at The Sports Moose.
Another one.
See you then. Take care. Sports Moose.